Okay, people. Today is our fourth class, and we are going to look at India-Israel relations. Again, we are going to follow our template of EGSTE, but before that, we'll go look at Israel-Palestine issue, and then we are going to look at evolution, EGSTE, and then way forward, and we'll provide a viable conclusion to this in India-Israel relations. First of all, we have in Israel-Palestine conflict. So it's basically a conflict over the territory of Israel and Palestine. This in the first map in 1947, as you can see, there is this Palestine country, and then Israel. Israel was not a country at that time. What happened was these people from Jewish settlements started expanding in these areas, and these areas. And during the partition plan of 1947, this was this map. Okay. Further, after the wars and all the conflicts between Israel and the surrounding states, Israel starts to form with leaving Gaza Strip and West Bank as the area of Palestine. But currently, this is the status. Okay. Here somewhere here is the Ramallah capital, and Jerusalem capital is somewhere here. This is the present status. So what happened during this time after 1948, the Israeli settlement starts to expand. The Holy Land was divided into three parts: the state of Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. This happened after the Israeli-Arab War of 1948. In 1967, there was a 6-day war which was launched by Israel, and during this time, Israel captured Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, East Jerusalem from Jordan, and West Bank from Jordan, and the Golan Heights from Syria. Golan Heights is a strategic location for Israel, and the Sinai Peninsula, if you have seen in maps, this is the Sinai Peninsula, this part. Okay, and this is your Suez Canal. It passes over somewhere here. This is a link between Mediterranean Sea and the rest of the world. So the whole trade of Europe depended upon Suez Canal, and it was acquired by Israel in the 1967 Six-Day War. After the Six-Day War in 1967, there were three no's which were established by the Arab world in Khartoum, Sudan, which said there will be no peace with Israel, there will be no talks with Israel, and there will be no recognition of Israel. This happened after 1967. Arab countries were all on side with Palestine, and they recognized the issue as from the Palestine angle. But soon, this position was abandoned individually by all the other nations. So after Egypt losing the Sinai Peninsula, in 1979, Egypt was like, okay, you should give us the Sinai Peninsula back in exchange of Egyptian recognition. So Israel got the recognition of Egypt. In return, they gave back the Sinai Peninsula. In 1994, Jordan agreed to the formation of Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, and Jordan also gave the recognition to Israel. 2020, there has been recognition by various states such as UAE, Bahrain, UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. And this agreement between the UAE, Bahrain, USA, and Israel is also known as Abrahamic Accords. Okay. Now, Sudan-Israel peace deals. In recognition for Israel, what Sudan got was Sudan was removed from US list of state sponsor of terrorism. So if you are in the state sponsor list of terrorism, the investors will not invest in your country. This is the current map of Israel. So here you can see there is Jerusalem as the capital, and there somewhere here around there is Ramallah. Ramallah is the capital of Palestine. So Palestine parts are this one and this Gaza Strip and this part, West Bank. So previously there was USA's embassy in Tel Aviv, but during the Trump era, USA shifted its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. This move recognizes the Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. But what is the India's stance in this relationship? India's stand on Israel-Palestine remains the same. It has supported the two-state solution from the inception of this issue, and it emphasizes that India and Israel and Palestine, both countries should exist side by side. One state solution is not a viable option. Okay, use this in your answers. Okay, and this is the template for your conclusion for the Israel-Palestine relations. It is time for the international community to find a peaceful solution to the world's most intractable conflict soon, in which the road to peace in West Asia shall lead to Jerusalem, but it shall not bypass Ramallah. Again, in all of your conclusion, you should look at the past, that is the Israel-Palestine issue, and look at the future, that we are looking for peace, but it should not bypass Ramallah. Now, the evolution of India-Israel relations starts from here, and you can use this as an intro. The relations between India and Israel is marked with both mystery and inspiration. It took a long time for both the nations to build a partnership. Mahatma Gandhi was one of the global leaders who was one of the first global leaders to support the call for separate homeland of Jewish people. So Jewish people were massacred during the Second World War, as you have known in the Holocaust, and they wanted a separate state for their own self. So this call was actually supported by Mahatma Gandhi, but it was only 1992 that two states established a full diplomatic relations, and it took another 25 years to establish a strategic partnership. So what happened was, India was hesitant because they did not wanted the wrath of Arab world, so that's why they were avoiding relations with Israel. But after the Cold War ended, the growth of India and USA relations started to grow, while India and USA's allies relations also started to grow, such as with Japan and Israel. In 2017, now after 1992, after that in 2017, there was a visit by Indian PM to Israel. This marked the first Prime Minister to visit Israel. This upgraded a relationship to strategic partnership. In 2018, Prime Minister Netanyahu he also visited to India, and there were agreements related to security and film cooperations were signed. So evolution here starts from here. This can be your introduction. Okay. Now we are going to look at our template, that is EGST. First is your economic relations. The key areas of cooperation include the trade, tourism, and technology. Bilateral trade stood at $4 billion, which is a growth from $200 million in the last 25 years. This bilateral trade of $4 billion is actually apart from the defense trade. We'll see that in strategic and defense relations. This is apart from defense trade. And the growth is actually attributed to diversification of trade into telecom, IT, pharma, agriculture, and homeland security. India is Israel's 10th largest trading partner, and Israeli companies have invested in India in sectors of telecom, real estate, water technology, R&D sectors as well. Global groupings is actually nil, because apart from major groups such as UNO and WTO, India and Israel are not part of any other intergovernmental groups. So if you get a chance in answer writing, if you can use this, that we should work on it and improve our relations by bringing Israel as a member of International Solar Alliance and International North-South Transport Corridor. Another is your strategic and defense relations. See, India is the largest arms buyer of Israel. This trade is of 600 million USD. Apart from the bilateral ties, 600 million USD you have in arms only. Last year, India also signed the largest trade deal in Israel's defense in history, which was around 2 billion US dollars. In fact, Israel also provided the precision guided bombs to India during the Kargil war as well. India currently has increased the FDI limits in defense sector to 74%. Now, what will happen that if you increase the FDI limits, this will help the Israeli companies who seek greater access to Indian markets and they can invest in India. This will further actually boost your India's Atmanirbhar initiative, and the cooperation in sectors such as tourism will also improve. There is a joint working group which exists on terrorism. Both countries have increased cooperation in areas of intelligence sharing and counterterrorism. Again, your conclusion can be this for strategic and defense, that the recently signed Abrahamic Accords present India with an opportunity to boost relations with Israel. How? Which India historically have hesitated to do due to fears over earning the wrath of Arab world. So now there is no fear of this wrath because these Arab countries are also in engaging with Israel. So now India has a chance to boost its relations with Israel. Second last, you have technological ties. We have great technological ties in the areas of space and water management. So Israel was one of the countries which asked to invest in the National Clean Ganga mission, and which they had also. Both countries are also trying to establish an India-Israel cooperation fund which can promote the technological ties. In the educational and cultural ties, you see that Israel has also provided scholarships. India has also offered scholarship to Israeli students. Historically, India has provided refuge to persecuted Jewish population. Plus, Mahatma Gandhi also supported the call for separate Jewish nation. India has its own Jewish community, and they are provided a minority status in Maharashtra and West Bengal. Recently, there was if you have seen in the February, I think there was this festival was held to promote cultural and artistic ties. But they come also with the challenges. So there are 5 main challenges to India-Israel relation. First and foremost, this is Israel and Palestine issue. Second, Iran issue, China, trade disputes, and the last one is Pegasus. First, we are going to look at the Israel-Palestine issue. So what happened was it becomes difficult for India to de-hyphenate the foreign relations with Israel and Palestine. They have to engage with both, and it just becomes difficult for India to de-hyphenate their foreign relations. In the past, India has been critical also of Israeli occupation in the West Bank. The Israeli occupation in the West Bank, I've shown you in the map. India has been critical of that. Iran issue. Iran is actually a vowed enemy of Israel. So they don't like Israel at all. And since its inception, they have been critical of Israel. Iran has vowed to remove Israel from the world map also. But India, on the other hand, has difficulties balancing ties with both the nations. Iran is important for our oil supply and international north-south transport corridor. So that's why India finds it difficulties in there. But now, in any anti-Iran stance or anti-Israel stance cannot be supported by India in this background. China issue. So China is one of the largest trading partner of Israel in Asia, and Israel hopes to participate in Belt and Road Initiative, which is a problem for India because India does not support this Belt and Road Initiative. Another issue is your trade issues. There are differences between the nations over the technology transfer and the proposed FTA, which has not been finalized yet. The Pegasus issue is one of the recent ones. Pegasus is actually a malware or a spyware which was developed by the NSO firm of Israel. The Pegasus is designed to gain access to devices without the knowledge of the users. So what will happen is they actually attack through WhatsApp So there will be a WhatsApp call or WhatsApp message on your phone, and the phone would be hacked. The targets mainly in this scenario would be the human rights activists, journalists, lawyers around the world. Particularly in India, Indian ministers, government officials, and opposition leaders, they were the targeted individuals recently. This poses a challenge for India-Israel relations. In this scenario, we have a way forward to write. So in way forward, you can write that we should resume the talks of free trade agreement to boost the ties, provide greater access to Israeli manufacturing companies. That should be reciprocated by Israel as well. Okay. Boost investment in R&D on agriculture. If you have looked at the Israel's growth in agriculture, you would have known that Israel is famous for cropping in desert. Israel is one of the countries which have mastered the water management through drip irrigation and tube well irrigation. Israel cooperation in intelligence sharing should be also enhanced between Mossad and RAW. Mossad is the intelligence agency of Israel, and RAW is of India. The whole template for conclusion can be written like this: that with growing cyber attacks from India's adversaries, Mumbai cyber attacks recently, which happened in Mumbai, in this background, India needs a robust cyber architecture which can be provided by Israel. Furthermore, India's non-permanent status in UNSC, and this can help leverage its relations with Israel. This was your question from the last class, and this answer can be deducted from the mnemonic that I gave you. Bachpan MBA. So here you can see Pakistan has the larger boundary. So Pakistan will be first. So 4 B and C. Now 4 and 3 are common. So you have to see which has the larger boundary between 2 and 1. Clearly, you can see that in world map that Bhutan has a larger boundary than Afghanistan. So your answer becomes C. This is your mains practice question. With growing tensions between Israel and Palestine in the recent past, how far is the two-state solution a viable option? Elaborate. Post your answers in the comment section and you will be provided the review in appropriate time. Thank you.